What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? You are now watching J.U.K Sports Show. I'm your host, King Ralph, here with the homie and my co-host, the homie Kai. What's poppin'?
Yo. Everything is popping, man. I'm good. It's been a great weekend. We got football on the horizon, man. Can you believe it? Are you ready? So yeah, I'm good, man. How you been?
I've been good, man. Finally got a job.
Woo! Shout out.
Won't he
Snap,
do it?
snap.
Won't he do it? Snap, 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 snap. Yeah, life's good. Feeling good. Ready for a good show. Good lord. It's my stuff.
Fire drill.
I don't even know why I got the alarm set for 4 o'clock. That's crazy.
Oh, bro.
But before we get started and send a shout out to the sponsors, make sure you go follow all our socials. Get on Instagram, J.U.K Sports Show. Make sure you like, subscribe. We're both on Facebook, YouTube, at the He Say She Say All One Word channel. Thank you all for watching, and let's get into it. We got a good show. Let's send a little shout out to the sponsors. Even though we ain't been in the studio in a minute, we should probably go back. But call the number on the bottom of the screen if you ever want to do any photo shoots, music videos, podcasts like what you're watching. Call 707 Fitboxer. And the Hall of Fame just came in. The Hall of Fame game happened over the weekend. A lot of new inductees. But before we get to that, I got some people that didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they're just now becoming eligible. I'm gonna shout out some names. You're gonna tell me why, if they're in or out,
Okay.
and why.
All right.
My boy, Devin Hester.
Devin Hester definitely should be in. I think when we look at a guy like Devin Hester, Ralph, the reason why he's in is because I feel like when I think about the greatest kick returners of all time, Devin Hester is the first name that pops in my mind. Can you tell the story of the NFL without Devin Hester? You look at what he's been able to do from the return position, punt returns, breaking Deion Sanders' record. Being able to, what was it, the 2007 Super Bowl between the Chicago Bears, you remember this, Chicago Bears and your GOAT, Peyton Manning of the Indianapolis Colts. Was it the first play of the game? He scored literally a kickoff return touchdown. And was that the only touchdown y'all scored, unfortunately, in the game?
I don't believe so. I could be
okay. Yeah, I'm about to go back. That Super Bowl was that. Oh wait, you're a Raiders fan. I'm sorry, man. Stop. I need to stop affiliating you with the Bears. Anyway,
I was rooting for them because I'm from Chicago.
Right. He's like, bro, stop it, man. He's like, that's not my team, bro.
Not
my squad. No, but
what?
Nah, man. I actually don't have his. I thought I had his stats. I had another guy we're going to discuss on there. I don't have his stats in front of me.
I got his stats. He had 5 return touchdowns and 14 punt return touchdowns. He made the All 2000s team and the All 2010s team, and he was a wide receiver, punt returner, kick return.
There we go. There you go.
Because they lost 17-29, so someone else scored a touchdown. And he actually scored another touchdown. But they brought it back, and then when they went back, it was like holding. If you go watch the film, nobody held.
So
but then it was like at that point, that was before the Bob Sanders hit, and where Cedric Benson fumbled. It was like literally that drive. He scored a touchdown, and they took it back. We get the ball, we get down the field a little bit. They are matriculating down the field. And then Cedric Benson, whap, balls out. And the next thing you know, Colts winning the Super Bowl. But he's in for me, man. When you're the best at something, like, it just don't matter. I don't care what it is. If it's on the football field, if you're literally the greatest to ever do it at that alone should put you in the Hall. Now, you do got to have a rounded game, but because he was a weapon on the football field. So that alone, being able to do it from high school to college, and we've seen what his Miami highlight reel is wild. Then when he get in the NFL to be able to do that, then the moments in which he did it, he was literally winning games.
Yeah.
Like if you go back and watch that Cardinals against the Bears getting shellacked the whole game. Then all of a sudden the defense turned it on. But it was the special teams, Devin Hester, who was able to get them the dub.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get the Danny, I think it's Danny Green.
Yeah, Danny Green. What?
What's his name? Danny Green?
Daryl Green?
I don't know.
Are you talking about on
the? I just know we let him off the hook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dennis Allen? That was Dennis. Oh, Dennis Green. I thought it was Dennis. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was high.
They are who you thought they were.
Yeah.
Let them off the hook. Yeah. They are who we thought they were. We let them off the hook.
It is Dennis Green. Yeah.
Dennis Green. Rest in peace, man. To Dennis Green, man. Late great Dennis Green.
And we let him off the hook.
Yep. Devin Hester is the reason for that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Reggie Wayne, wide receiver from the Indianapolis Colts. Reggie Wayne, former Miami U.
Yes.
Wide receiver.
So I believe that he's in. And I'll preface my comments by saying this. When you think about the Indianapolis Colts, when you think about Peyton Manning, you actually think of the dynamic duo that was Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning. Many could say make the case, or not necessarily make the case, but they'll say that Marvin Harrison was the number one wide receiver on that team, etc. And then did teams actually game plan for Reggie Wayne? But at the end of the day, production matters, right? And he was a model of consistency, and he pretty much did his fair share too. And I actually have his accolades up on there. He's has over 8 seasons of 1,000 or more receiving yards. He is a Super Bowl champ. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, and he made the All Pro one time. However, he's in the top 10 in categories that matter. He's top 10 in receiving yards with over 10,000. He's 10th all time in receptions. Okay, with over 1,000. And of the 24 wide receivers who made 6 Pro Bowls or more, 20 out of 24 made them. 20 out of 24 players with 6 Pro Bowls or more have made the Hall of Fame. So when I look at Reggie Wayne, I'm like, by that alone, he should be in there. He was a force. And Torrey Holt and Andre Johnson are players, mainly Andre Johnson, a wide receiver who played during his era, but he had some injuries issues. Torrey Holt has 1 more Pro Bowl, played a little bit earlier. Andre Johnson has, I think, 1 more Pro Bowl. Yeah, exactly. So, and I only mentioned the 1 more Pro Bowl thing because, like, if you're trying to make a case against Reggie Wayne, you really can't. You just can't, because statistically, right, Andre and Reggie, and then you look at the Pro Bowl situation, accolade-wise, Reggie is literally like same tier, bro. So he's going to get in. The only case would be what ballot he would get in, because I think out of guys on that list, I think Steve Smith Sr. still isn't in. Steve Smith Sr. is automatic for me, and he played with no-name quarterback.
He should have been first ballot.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm gonna let you run off, but that's it. Like, Reggie Wayne should definitely be in, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think Reggie Wayne he's a model of consistency.
Yeah.
And the numbers just don't lie. Plus the tape don't lie. He was a difference maker, regardless of the offense in which he played in, where they threw the ball a lot, and he didn't have to have a defense that figured to only try to stop him. It's like you kind of got to stop the offense in a sense. So, plus 6-time Pro Bowler, won a Super Bowl. According to Pro Football Reference, I don't know if these numbers are how true it is. I'm actually trying to start work on that to where I get solid sources. But whenever I quote my stats off, that's typically where I got my statistics from. They got him making two All-Pro teams and 2 first teams and two second teams. So I think that at that point, that shows that you were a difference maker and one of the best of your generation, if not the best. So for me, he's in. Another guy, and I'm gonna start off with this one and it's funny because I actually 49ers, I kind of low key can't stand them.
I understand why.
Patrick Willis. I
Yes.
remember I remember seeing the name coming out of Ole Miss and like seeing his measurables of like how big he was. He was like 240, 250, but he ran like a 4.3, 4.4. Like he was
Yeah.
flying off
He's
the
fast.
sideline.
Yeah.
And then his first season, he had almost 200 tackles.
Yeah.
And so he only played 8 seasons, but he made 7 Pro Bowls and
Right.
had 5 All-Pro first teams. Then on top of that, he almost had 1,000 tackles in 8 seasons. And then in his 8th season, he only played like 4 to 6 games. So it's like really he did a lot of this in 7 seasons.
Right.
60 tackles for loss, over 700 solo tackles. So it's like by himself, he getting at least 100 tackles in a season. So I think that everything that he was able to do, and on those, once the defenses started getting good, we noticed that it was who's the centerpiece of the defense, and it was Patrick Willis.
Yeah. So you saying he's in?
He's in. He's in for me.
Okay. He's definitely in for me, and I think that when we think about a guy like Patrick Willis, it's the fact that his career was so short. But I always look at when I look at players and their careers, I like to use context. I prefer peak over longevity. If you can have longevity as well, and you're playing at a high level for a long period of time, then automatically it's no brainer. But
Right.
He retired. I guess you could still say when he had something left in the tank. Like you mentioned, 5-time first team All Pro, but he was also the best middle linebacker of the 2010s. And you could make the case that he was the best linebacker in the league near the twilight days of the Ray Lewises and the Brian Urlachers of the world. And then also you have to look at, okay, what other players, Ralph, made the Hall of Fame in such a short period of time. And it's funny that you bring up Patrick Willis because me and you were just having a conversation about one Terrell Davis and what Terrell Davis was able to accomplish in what was like a 5-season stretch, winning an Offensive Player of the Year, MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Willis, Defensive Rookie of the Year, led a defense to the Super Bowl versus my Baltimore Ravens. And Ray Lewis wanted his jersey after a game. He's like, "Come up out of that jersey, man. Come up out of that jersey." And that's the greatest middle linebacker of all time. So when your peers respect you, a guy especially of his caliber, and the resume that you so eloquently listed off, man, like Patrick Willis, he's a Hall of Famer. Even if you want to say his career wasn't as long, he's a Hall of Fame talent. Right. And to me, that matters. So, yeah, he's in. All right.
And then next up, as a person that rooted for the Bears, I hate when they would play against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Because Jared Allen was going to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to let you cook first because I don't think we've ever – I just recently brought him up. And I think I might have or somebody did when we was talking about in the group chat. Mm-hmm. Is he in or out for you?
This one was actually tough. I'm not going to lie. Because he's not a good player or anything like that, but maybe it might be because strictly it might be for me. I'm just speaking from my perspective. It might be because of the team that he played for. Maybe I think maybe it's because he didn't play in New York like Strahan. Maybe it's because he didn't play in a LA or something like that. But Jared Allen, he's always like this Pro Bowl kind of guy who I never really thought was like like no one's Aaron Donald, but he was never like a J.J. Watt-esque to me. He was never that tier to me for whatever reason. However, his resume doesn't lie, but I also do remember him literally taking over like fourth quarters of games or maybe third down situational things. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I just can't lie. And so when I look at that, I think of the fact that he's had 22 sacks in a season, which I didn't know.
Right.
Was it Defensive Player of the Year at one point, or at one point 4-time All-Pro? I think the resume, based off the resume, I think he would get in. I don't know, me first ballot, but for me, he was never that J.J. Watt type person. But I guess he was really methodical with it, and he had his way of doing it, going about business. So maybe I guess you could say when you flash. For me, it's different. But then again, you said, being a Bears fan, or not Bears fan, but Chicago and seeing seeing that, it might be a little bit different for you. But go ahead, man.
So like for me, man, I I thought about this and I was like, man, this is one of the ones where it's like,
You had to think about.
like
Yeah.
you ever like say something or like kind of live by something,
Hmm.
but then there'll be times that'll kind of like go against what you just said.
Yep.
And I kind of got to stick to my word though,
Yeah.
because if you go through the numbers, like he's in the top 15 sack leaders. So he has a 136 sacks.
Yeah.
And it's like he was a 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro, 171 tackles for loss,
That's ridiculous.
plus 136 sacks.
Mm.
So like that, when you're pushing the team back 3 to 5 yards instead of them going forward, he's making a difference by himself to a certain degree. So it's like, and then at no point can you ever really say like, well, at least it was him and these other people.
Yeah.
It was like he wasn't on no top tier defense. So for him to be able to put up those numbers, I mean, he did have those Williams boys in the middle. Not
Right.
even thinking about it.
But he was still get
Kevin
them
Williams and I forget
key
the other
plays.
Pat Williams or something like that. But they was getting
Yeah.
to it. But he was getting busy though. He was definitely
Right.
one that stood out from that defense. So I think for me, I'm starting to think about it. It's making me think about the whole in or out thing.
Mm.
And when we start talking about the criteria, we always say, well, what's the criteria?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think the measurables, man, if you can get you about 4 or 5 Pro Bowls and at least 3 All Pros, because I'm starting to realize that when you go through a lot of these football players' numbers, they was only around for like 10 seasons.
Right. The average career is what, 3?
Exactly. Then it's like the average career is this. So then on top of that, you got like when you really start thinking about it, all right. So if you got a 10-year career, which like most of the greats have an 8 to 10-year career, at least. And then on top of that, then you start thinking about, well, what is the peak? Where it's like in NBA, it's about 3 to 5 years. But then it's like with football, since the careers are so much shorter, it's like, what is their peak? And so I normally say, like, if you can prove to me you was at your peak, you were one of the best, if not the best at your position for 3 to 5 years, you should be in the Hall. And then I think at some point, every one of these names that you had to game plan for them, or at least worry about them on the football field. I know we said that Marvin Harrison was the better receiver, and he played, and Reggie Wayne played a phenomenal offense, but you still had to go out and try to like, all right, cool, we can't let him dink and dunk down the field.
Mm.
And so next up, wait, what was you on Jared Allen? What'd you say?
I said I was going to put him in. I was going to put him in. Yeah.
He's in on mine just because he just was a solidified difference maker.
Yeah.
And then last up, I feel like we both gonna agree on this. For Rondé Barber.
No, I'm playing. No. Yes. I'm about to end the stream right now, man. It's like stand by. It's like what? No. Right. Anyway, no, definitely Rondé Barber. I feel like Rondé Barber could have been in like a long time ago, right?
Right.
I'm like a long time ago, man.
I didn't even realize he wasn't in.
Dude, like, right, exactly. See, look, man. Everyone thinks about the fumbler, Tiki Barber. I'm like, well, we need to think about, I had to throw that shade there, but it's all about it's all about Rondé Barber, and Rondé's almost pushing 50 too, so I think he's like 47. Yeah, Rondé Barber definitely in. When you look at a guy like Rondé Barber, Ralph, right? Here's a guy that could play coverage and also could get sacks. I think he had like over 20 sacks for his career. I think something like that. But the key, and he had 10 interceptions in one season. I believe it was 2001, peak season for him when the Bucks wound up winning the Super Bowl. I believe that season, or the 01-02 Bucks, however you want to call it. And yes, he was on the defense with the guys like a Simeon. I think Simeon was on that defense. I know Derek Brooks and John Lynch were on there, but his position was key. His position was key to the point where, okay, when offenses, quarterbacks, excuse me, aren't throwing to your side, that is going to skew or suppress the interception numbers that you get over throughout the course of your career. So make no mistake, you don't necessarily want to have 18 interceptions or some crazy number like that. I'm not knocking Deacon Jones. I think Night Train Lane was a great cornerback. But I'm just saying, like, people weren't throwing to his side. Rondé Barber, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I mean, the dude was nice, bro. I actually think I'll put it like this. He was the best barber in his family. But anyway, that's another story.
Oh, God.
And I ain't talking about cutting hair, but
Facts.
That's all I got.
And so, yeah, I think so too, man. He's in on me. He's in for me. I think three All Pros, 5 Pro Bowls. He played a long time though. But
yeah, he did.
47 interceptions, 197 pass deflections. He had over 1,200 tackles and 1,000 solo tackles. Although he moved to safety, but to be able to get that many tackles from a cornerback position, then moving to safety, plus 88 tackles for loss, I feel like he showed the versatility that I don't think we actually give him credit for.
Right.
And so
he was kind of like a Woodson in a way. Not saying he was. I mean, like Woodson to me is better, but in terms of what he was able to do, he was versatile, just like Woodson. I'm just gonna say he really was. Tape don't lie.
Right. And so all right. That wraps that up. Terrible segue, but it's all good.
That was cool. We got it.
Yeah, the comments was throwing me up. Trying to read the comment while talking is like was throwing me up. I don't know why I tried to do that. But shout out in the comments,
Brazil.
But segue into the Hall of Fame. We just got done talking about who we think are people that could get in the next years. But this year, we got Tony Baselli, Cliff Brandt, Lloyd Butler, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Brian Young, Coach Dick Vermeil, and the first referee in the history of the Hall of Fame getting in, Art McNally.
Yo.
What are your thoughts on this year's Hall of Fame inductees?
All right. So my first thoughts, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that is the ref. I'm going to bring it. Before I talk about the players, I'm going to say the ref. First and foremost, I was unaware that referees were allowed in the National Football Hall of Fame. I would like to know when this became something of a discussion. And I'm not saying that this ref probably wasn't good at his job, but what constitutes a Hall of Fame ref? What is the criteria of being a Hall of Fame ref? How can anyone make the Hall of Fame as a referee? What do I need to do so that I can quit my job, become a ref, and make the Hall of Fame? Really, like, hey, if that's the case, man, we don't need full season passes, man. Me and you, we can go down to the Allegiant Stadium right now and get it popping. You feel me? Right, so that was my first thing. Right. Hey, get that Foot Locker, get up and walk down to the stadium. Be like, I'm a ref. Right. So that's my first thing. So I was kind of, that gave me pause, and I just want to know what is the criteria for all that, and when did this thing become a situation? And then another thing is, I do like Leroy Butler. He was, I believe, safety. Excuse me. I was about to say something else. Defensive back overall, of the Green Bay Packers. He's prominent. You can make the case that he was literally the best during his decade, during his era at that position. And him and Rondé Barber actually have similar production, even though they did play different positions. But he should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. 38 interceptions, 20 and a half sacks, 13 forced fumbles. I mean, the dude was a beast. And he won the Super Bowl with the late, great Reggie White, and I believe 1997 when they played 96, excuse me, when they played 96 when they played Drew Bledsoe. Shout out to Drew Bledsoe, man. Tom Brady took your job. But anyway,
hey, at least he got to a Super Bowl.
No, Drew Bledsoe was cool, man. And then I'm like, man. But so Leroy Butler, he was one of the guys. I used to play with him on Madden back in the day I was talking to you about. So he definitely should be in there. Dick Vermeil, Rams. Look, greatest show on turf. After that, I mean, when I think of coaches, that one I have my reservations. I don't know about that. What do you feel that? I'm not really. That's the one where I'm like,
I mean, I'm happy for him. I say that much. I
but I'm
said like
like,
I said going into this that I wasn't going to try to speak anything negative. I
yeah,
think they deserve praise,
right,
but I'm
right.
gonna
Excuse
go
me.
in with some zen and a positive outlook upon
Right.
life. So I'm
Okay.
happy for Dick Vermeil.
I'm happy for Dick
Um,
Vermeil.
I'm
I should say
still a
I was a
little
little
salty.
surprised.
I'm still a little salty that my Titans came up a yard short.
Yeah.
Um,
That Kevin Dyson, right?
yeah,
Reach out on
man,
the
we should have won that game.
yo.
That was my squad though, Steve McNair and Eddie George. But this is not their time.
Yeah.
Not their time. Shout out to
So shout out to him.
Steve McNair.
Who else? Who else
But
will you
shout
listen?
out
You,
Dick Vermeil.
Mhm.
Somebody I was really happy to see on there. My boy Richard Seymour, and we just got done talking about criteria. 7
Mhm.
Pro Bowls and 3 All Pros, and he was still productive. He was one of the few that was able to leave the Patriots thinking he deserved a certain dollar, and Belichick was like, "Nah, we're not giving you that," and he still went somewhere else and still balled.
And produced.
Even
Yeah.
when the Raiders were not good, he led some good defense. He led some mediocre defenses, but he still stood out to the point where he was still making Pro Bowls, and he was able to. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize is, although we were bad throughout his whole career, Ben Roethlisberger never beat the Raiders in Oakland throughout his whole
Mm.
career.
Wow.
And if you go back, there was a time period where the Steelers, when they were good, came to Oakland, and Richard Seymour put it on them.
Yeah, I remember because that was. Didn't something happen? Didn't they like call eject? Didn't they eject Richard Seymour from that game? I remember there was because there was some kind of controversy, whatever. Not, I'm not talking ill of him, but I remember like there was some type of controversy, and the Steelers fans were complaining about Big Ben. But I'm sure we'll have to find that highlight. But yeah, Richard Seymour definitely was a force, like you said.
Right.
But keep it going, keep going.
And then another one that shocked me. I don't
Yeah,
know why I didn't even like Tony Baselli is another one of them people that like if he can get in,
yeah,
Patrick Willis should get in. Not to take
yeah.
anything from Tony Baselli,
It was
but
good, but short career.
we ran off Patrick Willis's numbers and what he was able
Mhm.
to do in a short span.
Mhm.
And Baselli played the same amount of seasons with 5 Pro Bowls and 3 All Pros, and he's in the Hall. And then even people, when they start talking about left tackles, they still talk about him. So
Yeah,
regardless of the matter, not to take any shine from Baselli, put Pat better get in the Hall. But shout out to everybody that's on this list. I'm actually really happy for every one of them. R.I.P. Sam Mills and his family was there. I think his ex-wife or his widow was there to accept
the Boston
the inductee
inductee.
and
Yeah,
reveal the statue. I think it is kind of weird that a referee got in. I'm not. That's the one thing that I say will disagree on.
yeah.
Not to say that you can't be a really good referee. I feel like you should get recognized for being a good referee if you are a good one. Because I don't know to what measure. Like, how do you measure that?
Yeah.
How is he Hall of Fame worthy? Is my whole thing. I need that explained to me. Or is that just one of them things where, like, because the one thing I'll say about Dick Vermeil, I think Dick Vermeil was well liked and respected.
Yep.
But it's like nothing about. He had a 120 and a 109 record and won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm just
if that's the case, Harbaugh should be in the Hall of Fame. If that's the case.
Right. And so I'm just like, I think that at a certain point that's when Dion was saying sometimes it's the Hall of Very Good versus the Hall of Fame. And yeah, so there's some ones, but shout out to every one of them. I'm not gonna go in on nobody. I will stick to my word. But Kevin Durant comes in, meets with Josiah, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, says and gives him an ultimatum. Pretty much says, and I'm not gonna say the exact quote, but he pretty much says is them or me, and them is Steve Nash and Sean Marks. Is he in bounds or out of bounds?
He's inbounds for his freedom of speech. He's inbounds for being able to express his opinion. He's inbounds for saying that he wants Steve Nash gone because coaches are allowed to be fired. I do feel like, I mean, in terms of power, this is where we play the "No one man should have all that power" Kanye West song, because when you start bringing in GMs, guys, man, like, and putting in the fact that they came public, I didn't really like it. I'm just being honest, man. I like KD, however, because I don't really think Sean Marks is really that much of a problem. You know, I think there's a lot of the whole Kyrie contract
I
situation.
think that has more to do with the Kyrie
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, the Kyrie thing, exactly, and we've discussed that before, and so that's why I was kind of like, Katie, really, man? And I'm like, for me personally, Ralph, I know this is, and we talked about it pre-show. This is a situation where really it's like, y'all, can y'all just like make nice, even if you have to fake it and get on the court because the team is really, really cool. So I think inbounds in terms of being able to express how he felt, but I wasn't expecting all that. But Steve Nash, yeah, Steve Nash definitely should be gone. I think it's kind of funny though how you want Steve Nash and then Kyrie says we don't need a coach, and it's like they tend to bite themselves in the foot. And Josiah did give Katie a 3-year contract, a max deal when he was hurt. Now, Josiah is trying to do some damage control here with the tweet that he put out. So it's like, yo, no, we run things here. You know, we're gonna do, what we do and move on, because he did reply. But KD's either gonna have to get traded, bro, sometime like soon, or they're gonna run it back. So yeah, man, it sucks because I like KD. You know what I'm saying? I keep it real. But I don't think Sean Marks needs to really go. What did Sean Marks do outside the Kyrie situation? I'll give you this, and I'll let you go. Sean Marks has done a great job of giving them everything they wanted from a roster standpoint, from James Harden, from the second rendition of the team to now the third rendition of the team. So keep Sean Marks, get rid of Steve Nash, figure out what's going on with Jumbo Rondo, aka Ben Simmons, and move on from there. All right.
Man, I'm actually on the KD comments or the ultimatum. I'm gonna say he's inbounds, man.
Okay.
I actually think that I'm not gonna say whether or not I agree with him or not, but like, because I'm more leaning toward I do. I do agree with him, but then at the same time, like you said, they shoot themselves in the foot all the time. And it's like, how for you to come out, if you're gonna say you don't need coaches, I can't then use that Steve Nash is not standing up to the level of coaching that you need in order to be successful as an excuse. So like, you can't say I don't need a coach, and then Steve Nash gets out coached by, was it J.U.K?
Yeah, Udoko. Yeah, Udoka. I'm gonna call him Ime now because I don't want to mess up that brother's name.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up his name.
That's my brother right there.
It's legit,
yeah.
It's legit
Respect.
just on purpose. I mean, on accident.
Actually,
But he's getting, but Steve Nash is getting out coached by him. So then it's like on top, you can't use that excuse as to why you're not being successful if you don't need a coach. And so it makes it hard. But then at the same time, it's like me and you have been saying all off season. Steve Nash, it was nice, man. Like, you were a great player, and you might be a good coach one day, but just not right now. And it's like, you've been a coach. You've never been a coach at any level. So for you to step right in and get a head coaching job, you might need to go learn underneath someone that's been doing it for some time.
Yeah, it could be over his head and over his head a little bit.
Right. Because I don't think anybody – because even like Popovich stepped in one day, one was a good coach, but he was already a general manager. He put that team together. So it's like Steve Kerr came underneath Popovich. Ime came up underneath Popovich. Like, the people that are stepping in, Ty Lue came up underneath Doc Rivers. So it's like there's people that have been coming underneath people when they finally get their first opportunity, they could be successful. But to step in, you've never been a coach before at all. I understand it. It's like we tried it for 2 seasons, and he's been out coached both times. And so on top of that, I want you to get rid of him. You won't get rid of him. Then on top of that, you treat my boy. I don't like the way you're talking to my boy. You need to watch your tone. And then so you don't want to back down. Cool. Hey, it's either me or them.
Mm.
So I can understand why you would come to this conclusion. I can understand, and I can actually get behind it. I do think Sean Marks has actually done a really good job, even before they got there. I
Yeah,
think
but
that
oh boy,
I think they should have
Levert.
never got rid of Kenny Atkinson. That didn't really make any sense. Then when they had a great team, and then they trade, it was like, all right, cool. I mean, you don't. I put a squad together that you could just join in and we can go hoop. And it's like, yeah, no, that's not good enough. So it's like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna trade the squad I had for James. Cool. All right, if
Right.
that's what you want. All right, James, come pull up. Then it's like, all right, James is here. Dang, oh, Kyrie got hurt. He pulls a hamstring. Dang, we lose. Hey, KD, next year we gonna get it though. COVID happens. Oh, Kyrie, you don't want to get the vaccine? Oh, dang. Then the team comes together, KD included.
Yes.
Yeah, if he can't play full time, we straight. Then James starts to get irritated. Oh, James, you want out? All right, let me find a suitor. You want to go to Philly? All right, Philly got somebody that's real good. I can get them. We can swap out plus some picks. I'll be straight.
And we get Ben Simmons,
So
All
then
Star.
we get Ben Simmons. So now you're going into another season with it's a possibility Ben Simmons should be healthy now. So starting on the season on day one, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD should still be able to play together. And then you think about that, it's like those are three people that play three different positions. So the way that James was able to step in day one and it just looked like, dang, this is perfect. You can do the same thing with Ben, or you can have it to where you now slide everybody down one spot to where KD can go from a 4 to a 3. You put Ben at the 4, and then you put Kyrie at the 1.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of work around the offense to where you got to add some more motion because then they do a lot of one-on-one.
That's why we say just get rid of the coach because literally, literally like you have Seth Curry, which I don't think we even brought up. You have Warren, you have Cam Thomas. You just have a really nice squad, man. Like you really do. You know, maybe you add another wing guy if you can for defense to supplement the fact that you lost Bruce Brown. But it's like if the ball moves in that offense, Ralph, like you mentioned, they're even better. You can say they're better than last year. The ball moves.
Right. Because that makes it harder to guard if just think about if the ball is moving and I swing the rock to Kyrie. Yeah. Now instead of guarding me straight up, you're just more reacting to what I'm doing. And he already has the thing on the string. Then think about, all right, so he makes his move, he beats his man, someone rotates, he kicks to KD. Now KD is able to get his shot off against anybody. But now you're more reacting to what KD is doing. And then you have a slashing Ben, or Ben is the one creating the offense in the first way, or Ben is just in the post because he has good footwork.
Yeah, and he can he can grab a rebound and start a break.
Exactly. And so they have options. It's just and plus Ben solves the problem on defense. Now is he a rim protector? Exactly. No, but he can be a really good
versatile defender, 1 through 4.
A very good, versatile defender.
Yeah, because we've seen him do that. Yeah,
exactly. And so for me, I actually think it's inbounds. Next up, DeJounte Murray and Paolo Banchero get into a little social media beef after a pro-am run.
Q Biggie, what's beef?
And DeJounte Murray had some things to say. He was calling him soft, saying this is a man's league. Went on to say on Twitter that he had respect for him until he felt like he started flexing that number 1 pick, Sugar Honey Iced Tea. And so he said he lost respect for him because he's not staying humble. Banchero goes on to say, like, damn, you going to unfollow me on Twitter or you going to follow me on Instagram or something along those lines.
I saw that.
I guess this is personal. And so he was like, all right, like, I just take it. Next time when we play in the league, don't be sending no double teams. Remember what you said.
Yeah.
And so is this inbounds? Or is it out of bounds?
It's all out of bounds, man. And here's why. It's out of bounds because because I feel like this whole I don't want to call it beef. Is it beef? Well, I guess you can call it beef technically, but it's petty to me, right? It's intriguing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, oh man, girl, no, I'm saying it's intriguing. Right. It is petty because it's like
now you holier than thou.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, man. Or what did Master P say? Oh, we got beef. Hoo-doo-hoo. It's like, don't make me call the dogs. But no, shout out to Master P, man. Bad about it. But yeah, because I actually had the quote. So like you were saying, Deontay Murray, he said this. He said, you tried to flex on me. You tried to flex on that number one pick bleep on me when I've been rooting for you when you was a kid, asking to rebound for me. Ooh. Don't get on this internet saying nothing. You changed from the humble kid you always was, and I stand on real bleep, boy. And you know, in all caps, exclamation point. You made it and changed. I lost all respect. Stay humble. This life you in now is real and ain't no joke. I still want to see you win because that's who I am. Okay, cool. So here's how I feel. All right. You say you lost all respect. So you lost all respect, Deontay. And mind you, I'm a fan of Deontay Murray as a player. All right. I think he's going to do wonderful things in Atlanta. Right, Ralph? But you lost all respect for Paolo in a pickup game. Did he say something about your mama? Did he say something about your girl? Did he say something about your kids? Did he say something that was that egregious to you? Did he say something to you? Did he hit you the wrong way? Did he give you the look? You know what I'm saying? Did he talk behind your back? You know, that's because you know, us as men, because we're older, so we're mature. Like, you have to do something for real for me to lose respect for you. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. So that's why I'm like, what did he actually do that made you say, I lost all respect, and put in exclamation points? Furthermore, right, I feel like Judge Mathis now. He said, I still want to see you win in all caps because that's who I am. So you still want to see him win, but you unfollow him and you say you lost all respect. Maybe I can't get behind the idea of what that means, or if that doesn't make sense to me. That sounds contradictory and hypocritical to me. So Paolo, he just a young buck, man. And Paolo, from what we seen, he seemed, you know, cool, wet behind the ears, nice kid, humble, the whole nine. So he just want to hoop. And you know, we know that what do you say? Yeah, and I'm not gonna repeat what Deontay said when he fired back, because he said some other things that are kind of like, huh? Eyebrows, like, really, bro? I might screenshot it to you, bro. Yeah, like, it was a pause-worthy moment. But anyway, so Paolo, I kind of saw with Paolo here, man, because I don't know really. I didn't see anything wrong with what Paolo did. If anything, Paolo's the one that got embarrassed on the court.
Yeah, so for me, man, I don't get it, bro. It's like, for me, I think he's out of bounds.
Weird. Yeah. So go ahead.
DeJounte Murray is the one that's out of bounds, and
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And I hate to be the one, because I'm an older brother, and I understand that at a certain point when I was as the person that is older, even if my brother come messing with me, I'm gonna get in trouble because I'm the older one.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it's ironic and hypocritical for you to feel some way about him. But I follow Baller's Life and a lot of hoop sessions, hoop-related things on Instagram and Twitter. He just had a video last week where he's hitting the ball on top of this dude's head, and this dude's a regular dude.
No, I did see that, bro. That was messed up.
And then, but it's like, all right, so like then the next week, now you mad at Paolo because he's flexing at the fact that he's number one? And he's 19 years old. I don't care how big he is. He's all of 6'10", 250. I get it. But he's still a 19-year-old kid who's not going to flex that. Then on top of that, he can actually hoop. So then it's like, how would you expect him to act? And then I was like, not to get into other people's business, because I never like to talk about gossip. But it's like, we actually saw this, so this is not gossip.
Okay.
But it's like, at a certain point, it kind of is, because it's like, I need to know what happened. What did he do that made you lose respect for him? Because from what I'm watching, the only thing that I can see, DeJounte Murray goes up for a layup one time what's in it kind of fouls him hard, and then DeJounte tried to like shoulder check him, and then Paolo was like, "I'd relax, little dude." So he kind of like hugs him and laughs. And then it's like after that, he just started going super hard, talking stuff, saying, called him soft. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Then it's like, guys, then at a certain point, it's like, you made it personal. So it's like, you're the one acting like the child in this manner. Then it's like, because for me, I talk stuff. I'm all for the trash talking. But like at a certain point, when you start saying, when you go on and you give more energy to it off the court, and then it's like you're like, yeah, nah, I lost all respect for him.
Yeah.
It's like then to what did that kid do that made you lose respect? Because it's like it got to be something behind that we ain't seen.
Right.
And so I'm just like, it's crazy to me because I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes no sense, and so don't be surprised when Paolo gives you that Derrick Henry stiff arm in the post or dunks on you. You know, if it happens, because now you're going to be having to hunt you. That's what he's going to do. He's going to get the call for the switch because it just seemed completely out of bounds by Deontay Murray, and I'm still thinking because you got that image in my head when he bounced the ball off.
Yeah, he hit bros hard too. I was just like, dang, bro, what you on?
Yo,
and he didn't even react. I was just like, bro, nah.
And then he started the fast break
so hard, bro. I'd have fouled him so hard.
Bro, why he started the fast break after that, bro? Right. Yo, you can't be doing that, bro. I'm sorry, man.
Bro, you gotta foul him hard.
Yo, we gotta shoot the fair one after that, bro. That's not even
flagrant. I'm flagrant. It's a flagrant foul.
Right? Who does that, man? Who does that? Like you ain't on the Anwin Street Ball mixtape tour. You ain't a New York City point guard. Like, come on. Yeah. By the way, speaking of New York City point guards, real quick before we transition, why is Smush Parker on there again? But anyway, moving on. So
Smush probably was cold before he got to the league.
Yeah, probably. That was probably his prime. So
yeah. Some people get their prime early.
No, it is. Hey, he's better than me. He's better than me. So
Sebastian Telfair was like you go watch his high school tape.
Yeah, well, nasty. Sebastian should have been something else. Yeah,
he wasn't even close to that in the league.
Yeah, he should have went to Louisville. Yeah.
And so we always talk with him. We always talk about he should have went. What if he went to college? And so
there we go.
Segue sometimes, man, sometimes we fall off track. We get back on. But what if? So we always talk about what ifs. What if Derrick Rose didn't get hurt? What if T-Mac didn't get hurt? What if this is one that we can use? So the difference. So today's topic, it's a what if scenario, but we cannot include injuries. Injuries are not included. What if Tim Duncan? What if Doc Rivers let Tim Duncan's wife on that airplane on the team plane?
All right, so if Tim Duncan had let Doc Rivers' wife on that plane,
I believe that let Tim Duncan's wife.
All right. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, I believe that he would actually. Ooh, Grant Hill, Tim Duncan. Because that would have been Grant Hill, Tim Duncan, and T-Mac, right, in Orlando. Okay, but see,
essentially would have ended up just being T-Mac and Tim Duncan,
right? But okay, all right. So let's play hypothetical.
It's still nasty.
Yeah, let's not. I'm not going to think too hard about it because the only reason I say not think too hard because I do remember when I read something about how Tim Duncan because Popovich is mad, but he's like I was never going to leave anyway. But then again, people could just say that. Who knows? But I would say then okay, he's on the team with T-Mac, and they automatically go to the finals. They're going every single year, right? And then you get T-Mac versus Kobe at their respective times, and especially 03 T-Mac versus 03 Kobe. Well, the Lakers, they would because remember now, Ralph, the Spurs beat the Lakers that year in 03. So if Duncan is in the East, you get Shaq and Kobe versus Duncan and T-Mac. I love that matchup.
Right.
So that's my answer. Like I'm not going to go too deep into it. You're going to play in the NBA Finals. May the best man win.
All right, and then. Another one. This one's close to me.
All right.
What if the Tuck rule never happened?
Brady's not the GOAT.
Oh,
I went to the extreme, like, and I'm not even trying to take anything. There's no way he's the GOAT because I feel like that was a perfect storm of events. My boy Ray Lewis has mentioned it before, and then people try to say he was taking shots, and I'm like, no, he's always respected Brady. But because you see him on the sideline with Ed Reed, he's like, come on now, we playing Brady because like he ain't no normal person now. But like the tuck, what the hell is the tuck rule, man? Come on, man, they got robbed. Y'all had Charles Woodson on the team. You had.
bro.
Was Tim Brown still there?
The next year we went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
We were supposed to go to the Super Bowl that year.
Well, Tar always said, shout out to Tar, also a Raiders fan. He said it was a setup because he said, think about 9/11 and the Patriot thing. And I'm not being respectful to people. We're not talking about actual like the disaster, but we're saying in terms of the Patriots and identifying there's a conspiracy, excuse me. He has a conspiracy that maybe there was some like, hey, let this be like an image thing for the league.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely believe that Brady's not the GOAT.
Right. And what if Reggie Bush played in this era? Would we look at him differently?
Yeah. Because he wouldn't be expected to tote the rock 35 times.
Right.
He would be what Saquon Barkley is, but healthy.
Right. I actually think that, like, for me, I feel like he would be a Shady McCoy type. Because I think what the
like
issue
that.
with the Saints at the time is that they were like, you got to think it was him and then eventually they got Mark Ingram. So then it's like they were looking for someone that could tote the rock up the middle. Where like now it's like, let me get you on the edge, let me get you out into space. We're gonna do some read, some RPOs, get you out in the open. Where it's like, all right, misdirections, and plus his ability to catch out the backfield was spectacular. So I do think that he's a Hall of Famer if he plays in this era.
How about remember David Johnson?
Yeah.
Wasn't that long ago, right? But his fall off was drastic. He could, I think, Shady McCoy mixed with a little David Johnson too. I think David Johnson's probably a bigger back. I think probably, but you get my point. He caught hella passes.
Right.
And Reggie was returning punts. So go ahead.
Right. And then those are my three, man. You got any what if
scenarios?
I mean, I got some more that I can go up, but it's your turn.
All right. Yeah. So and you said that they actually couldn't be injured. So my thing is, what if, right? What if Kevin Garnett got traded to the Lakers in 2007? Does that change the trajectory? Because Kobe, I do a Kobe one. Kobe 1-2 with Powell now, but this Kobe maybe 3-peat because they wound up playing kind of like your thing, because they wound up playing KG, right? In 08, who was the defense player of the year, and that 66 Celtics team, they lost in 5 games, Ralph. And they had the biggest loss in finals history, 42-point blowout. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think they get like a couple of chips or one chip? Or
if that happens, we get that LeBron and Kobe matchup. You remember like the puppets?
Yeah, I definitely remember the puppets. Hey LeBron, hey, does Kobe like chicken breast?
I had a shirt with both of them on it too.
Yeah, man,
I
good old
like shortly after that.
Yeah,
and but yeah, if that happens, then we get that finals Kobe LeBron matchup.
All right,
gonna go his favor because then
who's. Wait, LeBron's favorite or Cole?
Definitely not.
Oh yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't. Go ahead.
But at the same time, I do think that they running off at least 3.
All right, I got one for you.
Kobe gets more rings than Mike.
Okay, I got one for you because you brought up Mike. What if Mike hadn't retired? Okay. Oh, no. Well. I'm gonna do 2 Mike ones. I know it's like lame, but I have others. But I'm gonna do 2 Mike ones because I need to know. I need to know from a Bulls fan. What if Mike hadn't retired in 94, 95, or 93? Does he beat the Rockets at any of those? Because Hakeem was on one back then, and Kenny will continue to go to his grave saying, and Robert Horry too.
Hey, Mad Max said something too. He said that
Yeah,
he always beat him. But I just feel like when you're playing someone in the playoffs, it's just different.
it's different.
Like Mad Max admitted that Mike was different.
Yeah, he did.
But then it's like he's a different type of different than what you've seen.
Yo, didn't he get slapped by Hakeem?
Yeah. He was telling that story about how Akeem slapped the hell out of him. Yeah.
But go ahead.
That podcast is hilarious. Shout
It's
out
hilarious,
to the
man.
Field podcast.
Oh man.
But yeah, man, for me, man, it's just hard for me to believe that Mike would lose.
So you think he wins 8? 2 straight or just get one of them? Because we never seen him lose in the finals, bro. That's why I feel you. It's hard to see him losing.
I still believe they lose to that Magic team because he had to learn how to guard Shaq.
Yeah. And they had no Horace.
Right. And
Horace.
no Horace. So like if the team stays that way and Horace leaves, then I think that they could get there because they got to a certain point when it came to the 93-94 season. So like that team already got to a certain. So you add Mike, they're definitely beating the Knicks,
Right.
which is the team that got to the finals.
Okay.
And then the next year they run into Shaq and Penny, but it's like their first time seeing that. I don't think he was ready for that.
Right. Okay.
And so I do think they get one. I think they get 7 rings at that point.
All right.
I do think that if he doesn't retire, then there's no conversation of LeBron being the GOAT.
Oh yeah. There shouldn't be one now, but people say that's sacrilege and blasphemy, but it is what it is. All right, then I got one more, my last one for you when we end the show, because I like to do a football one. Give you a football one. What if Michael Vick had never gone to prison in his prime? Because he went in what?
I think eventually he would have got one.
Okay. You think he would have been a Hall of Famer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there would be no doubt about it because I think that his numbers, he would put up certain numbers to where he would be able to, like there'd be no denying it.
Okay.
It's like because the eye test tells you it's some amazing stuff that's happening here. It's legendary, just from day one. Like once he got to start, and then once he started making plays and really letting the cat out the bag, it was a wrap. There was nothing close to it.
Because go ahead.
Then I think if you give him the time he has, because I think he missed 2 years. Then he
missed 2. He came back in what, 09, 08?
I think he missed 2 full seasons and then was signed going into one season.
And then played
that season as a backup, and then got a chance to play on the 4th season. And so it's like at that point, even if you're coming back, it's like, and you're still good. You weren't the player that you were playing before. And he showed that he was still nice, but he just wasn't like as explosive.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I'm actually pissed off. Not at you, but I'm pissed off because I'm thinking about how he went to the Eagles and how Chip Kelly blew up that team with Shady and D-Jack in their prime, bro.
D-Jack and Shady in their prime.
Bro.
And you blow that up for what? And it's the perfect RPO offense.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But
honorable mention. What if Cam slid for the ball? But we're gonna end the show, so yeah.
Nah, he tore his labrum up like Drew Brees. What if Allen Iverson was 6'5"? Now that's something that you can talk about. We could do a whole another one if we wanted to.
Yeah, we should run back.
Make sure you go follow us on our individual socials. I'm on Twitch, Instagram, TikTok,
Facebook,
and Facebook at King Ralph. He's at the.House of Hoops on Instagram.
IG.
The IG page is at j.u.k. Sports Show.
And don't forget our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Watch it. Subscribe. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye. Peace out.